What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And before we get started, please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to hear what you all have to say about these topics. And ladies and sports fans and gentlemen, we are recapping the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions Thanksgiving game. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. As this game ended, and let's say it like this: the Chicago Bears ended this game in a way that only the Chicago Bears could end this game, as there was about 30 seconds on the clock for them, and they were moving down the field. Let me say this: on the last drive of the game potential, game-winning drive, they were moving the ball down the field, making great plays. And then on the very last or second to last play, I believe Caleb Williams, I don't think he was sacked. No. They made a good play. I can't recall exactly how it unfolded, but it left them. No. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. Caleb Williams was sacked because I remember the Detroit Lions player celebrating. So he was sacked, and then there was about 32 seconds left on the clock. And ladies and gentlemen, as the as the Chicago Bears were trying to set up for their last play, time evaporated. They actually got the play off. They had a timeout remaining as well. They got the play off. It was an incomplete pass that ended up expiring the remainder of the clock. And again, after a good game like this, it's just the game ended in the only way the Chicago Bears know how to end games, in blunders. And I said this, I just posted that I'm from Chicago, but I'm a Packers fan for this reason, man. As long as I've been alive, me personally, I wasn't alive when the '85 Bears won the Super Bowl. I wasn't alive when the Bears were ever relevant. When I came around, the Bears have been what they are now, essentially a laughingstock, with a potential franchise quarterback now, but still a laughingstock. Because this game was just absolutely abysmal. But the game did start off pretty good. The Detroit Lions, who have looked like the best team in the NFL, and by the record, I think they're now the best NFL team and the best team in the NFL. They came out hot. I think they put up 16 points in the first half. And which is clicking. The first quarter, they were able to accumulate 145 total yards on offense. The defense has been thin. I believe they lost another starter today. They were down 9 starters, but the defense is still shown up. Next man up mentality. Whoever it is, that guy has filled the void. So I'm very impressed with the Lions' resiliency. How they were able to, sorry, I'm looking at these stats. I'm very impressed with their resiliency, how they've been able to find ways to win, even when things aren't going in their favor per se. And this was a game of like that. The first half was all Detroit Lions. The second half, they kind of made a few mistakes. I wouldn't say any detrimental mistakes, but they just weren't clicking like they were in the first half. And so by the second half, it was almost a tale of two halves. The Bears were able to make a bit of a comeback. As I said before, the game was 16-0 in the first half by halftime, and then the game concluded 23-20 in favor of the Detroit Lions. But like I said, the Detroit Lions were clicking on all cylinders in the first half, and then the second half not so much. The Bears were able to get some momentum going for themselves. I heard an interesting stat from the announcers. They said that the Detroit Lions these last 3 games had not allowed any points in the second half, which is very impressive on their defense, especially when they're missing so many guys, namely Aiden Hutchinson, and amongst others. But still able to stall teams' offenses this last 3 weeks in the second half, but not allowing any points in the second half. This game on Thanksgiving, they allowed 20 points in the second half, and that's kudos to the Bears, man. Caleb Williams did not look good in the first half, and then was able to just find his rhythm and momentum. He clicked with Keenan Allen on a couple touchdowns, and the defense again on the second half they were bending, but they didn't break. But they did forfeit 20 points, which is something they hadn't done, or they hadn't forfeited any points in the last few weeks, but forfeited all 20 of the points that the Bears scored in the second half, but did not break and ended up costing the Detroit Lions the game. I kind of want to go over these box scores, though, so we can get a better picture of how this game unfolded. We'll start with the Chicago Bears, who are now 0-5 on the road, 4-8 their total record. And the Bears, Caleb Williams, the potential franchise quarterback, he went 20 of 39 today, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns total. Again, very impressive by the young man. Got all 3 of his touchdowns in the second half. Very impressive. Caleb Williams also ran for 4 carries and got 39 yards on the ground. Had a nice 13-yard scamper to keep. I don't think it led to a first down, but it was a long, I believe, like a 4th and 20, and he was able to pick up a lot of yardage on a very brave run. I like Caleb Williams, man. I don't care for the fingernail polish and all that kind of stuff. Some of the more, I guess we can say, flashiness of his style. I don't really care for that. But this dude is a solid quarterback. He made some very fascinating plays this game, especially with his legs, extending plays. He made one good play, I believe. Was it the fourth? Was it a 4th down? I'm not sure if it was a 3rd or a 4th down, but he was running towards out of bounds. The defense collapsed on him, and he was able to fling a ball to DJ Moore for a first down. But he did run the ball 4 times for 39 yards. DeAndre Swift pitched in 11 carries, 39 yards as well. For the running back core of the Chicago Bears. The receiving core, led by DJ Moore, he had 8 receptions for 97 yards and a touchdown score. He caught a 31-yard bomb for a touchdown. Keenan Allen had 5 receptions, 73 yards. He had 2 touchdown scores. He also caught a 31-yard bomb to start the scoring affair for the Chicago Bears. DeAndre Swift pitched in 2 catches for 35 yards. Cole Kmet, who had a great game last week against the Vikings, he had 3 catches for 26 yards this game. Rome Odunze, the other rookie for the Chicago Bears, had 2 catches for 25 yards. A lot of yardage, not a lot of not a lot of catches, I should say, for the Chicago Bears, but they were able to get some yardage in the air. Target-wise, DJ Moore, for my fantasy footballers out there like myself, DJ Moore had 16 targets this game. Keenan Allen had 8. And I just put in their receptions as well. Of his 16 targets, DJ Moore caught 8 of those. Keenan Allen, 5 catches, had 8 targets. DeAndre Swift, 2 catches, 3 targets. Cole Kmet caught all 3 of his targets with 3 catches. And Rome Odunze had 6 targets, but only was able to get 2 catches out of that. Excuse me. For the defense, no interceptions, but they were able to get 2 sacks. Austin Booker went for a half a sack. He shared that with Jack Sanborn. And then Gervon Dexter got him a sack as well for the Chicago Bears defense. Montez Sweat was doing his thing. He pressured the quarterback a number of times this game. Very impressive, man. But the Chicago Bears will now go 4-8. They are at the very bottom of the NFC North Division, the very competitive NFC North Division, may I say, as a Packers fan. And we'll see, man. We'll see where the Bears go from here. Like I say, they've put some things together, but they have not been able to put the wins together. And they have found ways to lose. Let's just be honest, like they did in this game. For the victorious Detroit Lions, who go 11-1. I believe the Patrick Mahomes and those guys, I believe they still only have 1 loss on their record as well. So, but I think Mahomes and those guys are only 10-1. They play tomorrow evening. But nonetheless, Jared Goff, who has been leading this team, has been a very good stable leader for this team. I really have grown to admire Mr. Goff. He went 21 of 34 this game, 221 yards for 2 touchdown scores. He was sacked one time as well. David Montgomery, he had two. Let me throw this out there real quick. I just learned of this. I don't know if this is something that's been going on, but they call the dynamic duo of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, the running backs for this Detroit Lions team. They call him Sonic and Knuckles, which I really rock with as somebody that grew up watching Sonic. My son right now loves Sonic. Jahmyr Gibbs being Sonic, David Montgomery being Knuckles. More so because Jahmyr Gibbs is the speed, the niftiness, and then David Montgomery, who has speed as well. I think his speed is a little bit underrated, but he's more of a run through you type of quarterback. So I really love that, that nickname combination for these two dudes, and they've really been having themselves a year. For total 21 touchdowns for both these brothers. I believe David Montgomery has 11, Jahmyr Gibbs has 10, and they have just been a force for the Detroit Lions offense. But David Montgomery, who is actually a former Chicago Bear, I totally had to look that up. In fact, he made a mention of it in a post-game interview. He's a former Chicago Bear, now plays for the Detroit Lions. He had 21 carries for 88 yards this game. No touchdown scores, but he did have a prolific 13-yard run. Jahmyr Gibbs, who had only 9 carries, put up just about as many yards with 87, and no touchdown scores for him, but he did have a big 28-yard run. Just furthering justifying that nickname Sonic. But those two did not score this game, didn't have to. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he caught 5 passes for the receiving room for the Detroit Lions, 5 catches, 73 yards, no touchdowns, but he did have 7 targets this game. Tim Patrick, who had a great game last week, only had 2 receptions this game for 48 yards, had a long 30-yard bomb, from one of those catches as well. Out of his 2 catches, he had 3 targets. David Montgomery picked up 3 catches for 36 yards, 3 targets. Jameis Williamson, who has been very instrumental. I forget who was the number 2. Was it Reynolds? I think it was Josh Reynolds. I think was the number 2 receiver for this team. He moved on to another team. Jameson Williams has filled in perfectly as the number 2, 5 receptions, 28 yards. And we got to talk about something about this brother too, man, that happened not too long ago. I wanted to make a video about it. I think he was found on some sort of PED allegations and was suspended for a couple games. I wanted to make a video about it. Might have to just spin the block on that one. We'll talk about it later. 5 receptions for him, though, 28 yards. He had 7 targets today. Jahmyr Gibbs pitched in 2 receptions, 17 yards. The player of the game. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not gonna say I guess. I know for sure Jared Goff should get the player of the game this game, as he led the way. But Sam Laporta was very instrumental. He only had 3 catches today for 6 yards, but he had the 2 touchdown scores that kept the Detroit Lions ahead of the Chicago Bears. He started the game with a touchdown, got to end up getting another touchdown. Excuse me. So I just feel like Sam Laporta should get some light as far as being a player of the game. Not more so because of his production. It's just that Sam is always in the right place at the right time. I tried to pick him up on my fantasy football team. Speaking of such, 6 targets for him for his 3 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Let's move on down. Jahmyr Gibbs did have a fumble this game. So did Maurice Alexander, but he didn't lose his. For the defense, loved what this Detroit Lions defense has been able to do again. Very slim, losing a lot of starters. Of course, you could probably say I don't want to say, because Aiden Hutchinson is so young. He's still got a lot of football ahead of him, but probably the best player on the defense, even right now at this stage of his career. Even with missing him, they went down 2 starting cornerbacks last week. I forget who their names. I had it written down too when they got injured, but they went down. The two starting cornerbacks went down last week. I'm not sure if they played this game. I'm looking. Can't remember those, but no, Terrion Arnold, he played this game. He was one of the ones that went down, but he ended up playing this game. And I forget who the other brother name was. But just want to say that the Detroit Lions defense has been very impressive, man. Even with all of the injuries, they've been next man up, really embracing that. But they were able to get 5 sacks this game on Caleb Williams. Let me see. 2 sacks went to DJ Reader, who was a threat all this whole game. He also had 3 quarterback hits. A sack and a half for Zadarius Smith. A sack for Alquan Muhammad. And a half a sack for Ezekiel Turner. So the busy defense of the Detroit Lions, led by Coach Dan Campbell, they get it done another week, man. They did this. They won this game totally different than they've been winning their past games. I believe this victory for the Detroit Lions extends their winning streak to 9 now. The Chicago Bears extend their losing streak to 6. And so, like I say, man, it's a lot of football to be played still, even at this juncture of the season. But right now, the Detroit Lions just keep on rolling. The Chicago Bears still seem to have some things to figure out, even in their newly minted offense. Really fast, and I want to hurry up and get on out of here because we got the next game just started. I want to go through the team stats: 25 first downs for the Detroit Lions, 17 for the Chicago Bears. And a lot of these numbers that the Detroit Lions were able to get came in the first half, as they had, I believe, out of the 30 minutes of time of possession in the first half, I believe they had it for like 15 minutes. It was a mighty long time. So they got a lot of their yardage in the first half and was able to build their momentum early, or at least their numerical advantages. So again, first downs 25 for the Detroit Lions, 17 for the Bears. Total yards, we had 405 for the Detroit Lions compared to 301 for the Chicago Bears. Passing yards, 211 for the Detroit Lions compared to 223 for the Chicago Bears. Rushing yards, 194 for the Detroit Lions, and that's just a tribute to Sonic and Knuckles, of course, compared to only 78 for the Chicago Bears. And that's really a credit to the defense of the Detroit Lions. Turnovers, 1 for the Detroit Lions. Now with the fumble by Jahmyr Gibbs. Penalties, 8 by the Chicago Bears, 6 by the Detroit Lions. Penalty yardage, 78 yards for the Bears, 79 for the Detroit Lions there. And time of possession that we talked about a little bit earlier, 35 minutes for the Detroit Lions, 35 minutes and 14 seconds, compared to 24 minutes and 46 seconds for the Chicago Bears. One more stat that I skipped over, I forgot to look at, third down efficiency, which both these teams were pretty decent in that. Excuse me, guys, I'm just getting over this little cold, getting my voice back, all that good stuff. But anyway, their third down efficiency, 7 of 15 for the Chicago Bears compared to 5 of 14 for the Detroit Lions. So both these teams, man, were doing their thing, moving the ball. Again, they just had two different they are just two different spaces as far as where these teams are this season, as the Detroit Lions are for sure probably the favorite outside of the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. And the Chicago Bears will go back to the drawing board. This time, with a franchise quarterback. I believe in Caleb Williams. He's been looking awfully good these last few weeks, even in this game. Again, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. A couple sacks, but not totally all his fault. In addition to him having the ability to extend plays, that guy has a Patrick Mahomes like ability to extend plays. I can give him that much credit as a rookie. We'll see where the Bears go from here. Again, a couple more weeks of football to play out, so we'll see how these seasons conclude for both teams. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last, please leave